16-year-old Julian.
Hello.
Hi.
How's everybody feeling?
Good.
Good. Before I get started, I'd just like to say, yesterday, little known fact, yesterday was the day that Marty McFly traveled to the future, from Back to the Future. Talk about a letdown. But that's besides the point. If you don't like my stand-up, you learn something. And no one can ever take your knowledge from you. So remember that. Okay, really quickly, did anyone see Beyonce's concert last month? Yeah, no, they called it the Grammys for some reason, but it was Beyonce's concert. If you saw it, that means you saw Taylor Swift do her interview on the red carpet. Everyone does their red carpet interview with Ryan or Juliana. And Ryan was interviewing Taylor. Ryan's really short and Taylor's really tall. So when he was reaching for the mic, it hit her in the chin. Needless to say, her two-part album about drops next year. Talk about that. Did anyone see the Beatles perform at the Grammys? Yeah, they called it the Beatles performance. I called it the bathroom break. Not gonna lie, I'd much rather listen to shallow dance music than to watch a bunch of geriatrics string a guitar. You guys are familiar with Katy Perry? I gotta say, I feel really badly for Katy Perry. Because the Grammys just happened, and everyone wants to win a Grammy. But the only way Katie's gonna win a Grammy is if they make one for perfect attendance. Because she's always there. Her music just isn't. It's really unfortunate. So, back to Taylor Swift, right? It wasn't a good night for her. Not only did Red not win anything, but the inevitable happened. You guys know what the inevitable is? Every superstar has been fearing this for the past 5 years. And what happened was, Taylor got stuck behind Adele in the buffet line. And there was not a single butterfly shrimp left. However, there was plenty salad, so she got to take home some salad to her and her lack of boyfriend. Back to Beyonce. They say that we're not supposed to talk about religion on stage, but I say, whatever, Beyonce, I'm going to talk about her. She's my Lord and Savior, and I want to share her wisdom with all of you. Can we discuss the fact that people are giving her all this accolade and this praise for releasing an album without any warning or preparation or promotion? And I'm just like, how unoriginal is Beyonce? Because the other members of Destiny's Child have been releasing unknown albums for years. They don't get any accolade. I feel like it's not fair. Someone has to pay for Michelle doing something? I don't know. Next, I'd like to discuss, who's next on this? You guys have heard about the Kris and Bruce Jenner divorce, right? Yeah, I gotta say, this is hurting my, this is more devastating to me than my own parents' divorce. I guess, Kris, it just got hard living with someone who wears their Halloween mask 365 days out of the year. Bruce Jenner's had more shots to his face than Rihanna in 2009. I guess it just got too much for her. But at this point, people always say, oh, she's too good for him. At this point, Kris Jenner is just blood, silicone, and air. She's not bringing that much to the table either. And my parents were married for 5 years. For 1 to 2 years it was great. 3 years it was year 4, get away from me. 5 years divorce. 6 years they were ecstatic. It was the best happiest I'd ever seen them. They were married for 5 years. Could you imagine being married to someone for 22 years? That's a lot. The conversation must have been more bland than playing Marco Polo with Helen Keller. I personally, I couldn't do it. And goodness, and all the children, I'm sure that when Kris asked Bruce Jenner for a divorce, she was happier than when Monica Lewinsky told Oakland the test was negative. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. And can we discuss the weather in Georgia? Can you talk about the weather? Last week it was freezing, this week it was hot. Last week, let me tell you something. The thing about us pigmentally challenged people is that when it gets cold, we get dry. And last week, my skin was drier than the phone lines at Joe Jackson's management. It was not good. It wasn't pretty. And we are in Atlanta. It's a mecca for the African American people. So of course we have fundamental shows, like the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Do I have any Housewives fans in here tonight? Do I have anyone who knows of the, yes? So then you guys are familiar with Nene Leakes?
Yeah.
So you guys know that she was sick recently? She was in the hospital because she had attention deficit disorder.
Oh.
Yes, the lack of attention she was receiving was making her deathly sick. But it's okay now. We have someone in there rotating every 45 minutes to tell her that she matters and she makes a speedy recovery. Thank you,